Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Pabers, and I'm here with my good friend and colleague, Suzun Justice. She is a certified licensed massage therapist and a lymphatic therapist who has also an education in Chinese medicine, and she brings that work into the practice and has also done over the course of her life over 10 years of in-home health support with the elderly and even some hospice patients, and has brought just this unique perspective into her practice. So welcome and thank you again for talking to us
so
today.
Glad to be here.
Likewise.
Yeah.
We work together every day, so we actually have an amazing friendship, and we're so lucky to be able to
lucky.
be together and have fun and talk, and we're nerds together.
Yeah. We're total like educational and anatomy nerds and medicine nerds. Yeah. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so what we wanted to talk about today was abdominal massage and trauma and even just bad experiences and why somebody would want to do abdominal work with Sue.
Yeah. Well, first off, it's the abdomen. We carry so much there. We have, first off, we can have embarrassment because we've gained weight there, or our stomach's hanging over our pants, or we're hiding it. And, then there's the trying to lose weight and feeling embarrassed. And then with people in larger bodies, one of my specialties that I've talked about before is bariatrics. So we're talking about people that can be in larger bodies that have had surgery or that are trying to get their weight down because of health issues or just needing to feel better. And there's a lot of shame connected with it, with, a life of being different from the ideal, and a life of rejection from relationships, people, doctors, places you try to go to get help, or, even today we hear it about, people trying to fly to fly places in an airline, and there's a lot of shame and embarrassment in size. And so we're talking about, with the Chinese medical the Chinese medical perspective, we're talking about stagnation. When I do my abdominal massage, which is one of the things I do, we're working with the meridian system and the points of the meridians, and it's energetic and it's physical. When I work with the abdomen, it's a diagnostic tool I could use to feel and to see what's going on with the patient. There are things that I can feel. There could be, places of hardness or sensitivity, and clients can feel release from emotions that way, and we can get stagnation of fluids and body tissues and any type of fluid, blood, lymphatic fluid, just the tissues of any of the tissue that we're working with, we can open it up and spread it out and help the body to assimilate it, so it's not as stagnant. It helps people when they're having when they're having a hard time with their menstruation, when they're going through menopause and things are starting to stop moving with blood.
One of the things that I think is interesting with the abdomen also is there's so much there. I mean, babies can be there, so it's a place of fertility. And then it's also a place of feces. I mean, there's the having bowel movements part of it. So and then the bladder is there. So it's so much. And we haven't even talked about the upper GI.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
do you find that there's a lot of constipation or bowel issues when you work with people?
Yes, there's a lot of constipation and bowel issues that can tend to be really high. There there's emotional stagnation there from a lifetime of trauma, emotional trauma and shame. I mean, whatever trauma that is, it could even be sexual abuse. It could be,
Mhm.
you know, being rejected all the time because you don't look good, or you don't look, you're not skinny, or your belly's too big, or whatever the issue is. Um, it's trauma. It stagnates, it pushes and keeps it tight. And with the abdominal massage, the energy work with the physical abdominal massage, with working with the mind and body connection, and working with the Chinese theory, or the perspective, it helps to bring balance and harmony in those areas. So there will be physical and emotional healing
Yeah.
that comes with it.
One of the things I think is so valuable that I think a lot of people don't think about is what it is to have touch and massage
Yes.
on the abdomen that's neutral.
Mhm.
So it's not sexual, it's not clinical, like maybe a doctor might just press on your
Mhm.
belly, just does that hurt, that hurt, that okay, then you're done.
Right.
Or it's ourselves pinching fat or
Right.
pressing on things, but as much as one might enjoy having their back massaged or their shoulders
Mhm.
massaged, being able to work through pain, work through tension, even work through some guarding, um and to ultimately be able to relax. I know when
Mhm.
you worked on me, I just end up feeling so deeply relaxed in
Mhm.
a different way from back massage, which is
Right.
also great.
Right. It's definitely a deeper type of therapy, and there will be a resistance there, but once that resistance, you face that resistance, and you allow yourself to be vulnerable in the space with somebody who's safe, and I create a safe space, then that the tension and stagnation can dissipate, because now you can be vulnerable, and now you can trust. And that's one of the first things that how that can manifest is through trust, and being in a safe space,
Yeah.
and being open to being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And our bellies are very vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We even talk about, somebody showed their soft underbelly to whatever. We talk about it in language. And
Yeah.
I wondered about chronic infections. I mean, there's so many people with um, infections from their intestines or their reproductive infections. And what's been your experience with that? Or even other kinds of infections?
Again, it's I believe it stems from trauma. It can stem from emotional trauma, being closed in, having fear in your life, relationships you may have had in the past. I mean, I hate to say it, but like sexual abuse, and just holding things in and not letting it. And that's part of the stagnation that has been creating and manifesting through our lives. Again, abdominal work can loosen that up and open up the possibilities to, you know, healing from infection, healing from the emotional trauma that is held there
Yeah.
could be through a lifetime. And a lot of clients don't even know that that's what it is. And through our work, they will start recognizing it, that it's being held there, and things will come out, and then they start healing emotionally too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to clarify that trauma could be something as horrific as a rape, or like physical abuse, but there are a lot of women and men out there who've had just sexual relationships that weren't loving and
Right.
respectful. And while we often don't even define it as trauma,
Mhm.
it's a major disappointment to our spirits, because our spirit knows when we're truly loved and honored, and when we're not valued, and and we're just kind of with somebody who's not truly loving and honoring who we are in our bodies. And that's a trauma.
Yes.
We just don't call it that. And it lands in our body.
Yes.
And stays there.
And it could be trauma from being a little kid and an adult poking you in your belly and going, look at that fat belly.
Yes.
It could be something as simple as that.
Or a sibling.
Yeah,
And
sibling
school
teasing.
people. Yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many ways. They're micro traumas.
Yes, micro traumas.
And some of them are major traumas, but we don't define it as that.
Right.
So then
so I'm glad you cleared up like the trauma thing, because it can be huge or it can be very tiny and micro.
Or secret.
Yeah, or
and
secret.
You don't even
yeah.
really understand
Yeah.
until, I mean, one of the things that I experienced, and and I've done a lot of work on myself, is, and I've thought of this too, just in general, that when one understands what it is to be touched in a neutral way, because it is a medical office, but in a way that's really healthy and thorough, and to feel that sense of relaxation, I can't imagine accepting something else. I can't imagine going back into a relationship and not being honored, whether it's just from somebody who is hugging me, or it's a romantic relationship, that the difference would be so huge, because it's, you just see like, wow, I'm not going to let myself be touched that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, absolutely. It helps us. It's like reteaching us our value and that we need to be honored.
Yeah.
For who we are and what we look like, everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really deep.
Yes.
It's really
so deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons I'm grateful to work with Suzun, because she goes deep. So, okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.